Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I do not know who exactly the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, hurt. Hurt in a way that in his group, because these guys are there to get him. I'm not a supporter of Netanyahu whatsoever, but I can't help noticing that Netanyahu is like a persona non grata. That is, not invited in front of the Congress, US Congress, to speak, not at the White House. He receives bad press in the United States of America. They try to change this guy. They want him to leave. He's not the guy who can do anything he wants without any criticism, as I perceived him before, at least in the United States of America. These guys wanted to get him out since he was re-elected in Israel. His party, he got elected. He is the legitimate prime minister of Israel, which I don't give a shit, to be honest with you. Because if it's not him, it's going to be someone else of the same kind. So Netanyahu shows us who's who and what's what. That is, he tells the Americans that, boys, you can plan your little garbage over there, how much you want. I'm doing whatever I want. And it's been like this before. The problem is right now the media tells us like that. Before, the media said, Supposedly Netanyahu did not speak with Biden in 3 weeks. Not that they have to, but I would think that they should communicate given the situation in the Middle East. Well, I think that each state, each country, each nation has the right to fulfill its destiny, its own destiny, and be in charge of its own internal affairs and foreign affairs. So the same should be valid for each and every country, as is the right of self-defense. Any person, any entity has the right to self-defense. Here, obviously, there are limitations. You can't do anything you want just because you're in self-defense. That's something else. The thing is, let me show you how Netanyahu grabs the Americans and just does like this to them, like a little kid, like this. Let me show you this article from Associated Press. Netanyahu says he has told US he opposes Palestinian state in any post-war scenario. So he opposes a Palestinian state. Did I get it right or what? So he says, you know what? After this war against Hamas, there will be no Palestinian state. Fuck off. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Now, there's a no confidence vote occurring as we speak. They're trying to get him out. I think they're going to vote tomorrow on this. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday rejected U.S. calls to scale back Israel military offensive in the Gaza Strip or take steps towards the establishment of a Palestinian state after the war, drawing an immediate scolding from the White House. He doesn't care. Why? For obvious reasons. And the obvious reasons are, can't say them here. They are very obvious. The problem is you can't talk about them. So let me show you something else here. Fox News, Israeli opposition files no confidence motion to oust Netanyahu's government, a failure that costs human lives. They say that's why he's out. They want him out. So let's go back to this one. The tense back and forth reflected what has come a wide rift between the two allies over the scope of Israel's war and its plans for the future of the beleaguered territory. Now, I said before, and I will say it again, the Americans can't do anything about it. And I said this when all this thing in Gaza started. And I said the Americans will talk and Israel will do. And when Israel finishes up whatever Israel wants to finish up, then it's going to turn towards the Americans and say what? And the Americans say, yeah, blah, blah. Okay, we stop now. That's the really how things go over there. As of now, the Americans will not do anything about it. Can't. What are they going to do? Fire Blinken? Blinken on his own, with his Secretary of State, with the Foreign Minister, State Department, he on his own decided that Israel faces an emergency, and he agreed on two occasions already, to sell weapons to Israel on 2 occasions, $270 million. I think it was the second one, the first one about the same amount. Bypassing the Congress, a non-elected official. Now, Blinken, Victoria Nuland, Zelensky, Stein, Netanyahu. And this is what the White House said. We obviously see it differently. That's the extent to which you're going to be blah, 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 blah. You know, the dogs are barking, the caravan proceeds. Netanyahu spoke just a day after the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Israel would never have genuine security without a pathway towards Palestinian independence. I think Israel will make sure that they will defend themselves however they fit. Earlier this week, the White House also announced that it was the right time for Israel to lower the intensity of its devastating military offensive in Gaza. After more than 3 months? That's a parody. Now these guys file that motion of no confidence after 3 months? This is just, seems to me that these guys are just playing in front of us. It's like a script. Oh yeah, we're gonna wiggle our finger. You're gonna say, a little bit longer. You finish up, and then you give the U.S. supposedly the authority and legitimacy to be the broker of the Middle East. I said this many times, and I keep saying it. When Israel will finish up, then it's going to tell the United States, okay, now you're going to make sure that peace is going to be here the way we want it. And after all, it's Israel over there. What are they going to do? The problem is the problem. The issue is, the surrounding countries. What are they doing? Well, you know, Al Capone is in the area. What are you going to do? In a national televised news conference, Netanyahu struck a defiant tone, repeatedly saying that Israel would not halt its offensive until it realizes its goals of destroying Gaza's Hamas militant group and bringing home all remaining hostages held by Hamas. Do you remember, as he said, nothing can stop us. What did he say? Let me find that article. Netanyahu said, nothing can stop us. Let's see. Nothing can stop us. Netanyahu. Let's see. Okay, right here. Let's use English Al Arabiya. But I can, it's not only over there. You can find it in more than this right here. This is Al Arabiya News. No one, I'm quoting, no one will stop us. Not the Hague, not the axis of evil, no one. End quote, says Netanyahu. And there is, I can find here. This is Euro News right here. If you don't believe me, learn more. I don't want you to get in my shit. Right here, ABC. Let's see if those guys are going to do anything about it. Holy. Finally, I wanted to use an acceptable for these baboons media outlet like the Telegraph instead of using Al Arabiya, where the hell it left somewhere. Doesn't matter. Go back here. That's why I used the Telegraph. So you see he said that. And if you look back here somewhere, is right here. Nothing will stop us. Not even this, not even that. I know I saw this before. So let's go back to this article. He rejected claims by a growing chorus of Israeli critics that those goals are not achievable, vowing to press ahead for many months. And I'm quoting, "We will not settle for anything short of an absolute victory," he said. So the point is, as long as he is the legitimate guy over there, nothing will change. The bad cop, good cop policy. Now he's the bad cop. But the good cop is going to continue what the bad cop does. He's just going to take it from here and move on. Like the teams in track. I give you this, you take it, and you move on. The same thing. Netanyahu did his thing, and he just said, United States, you can't do anything. Now imagine maybe any other country on this planet saying the same thing to the United States of America. What do you think would happen? Threats, blackmail, sanctions immediately, and then so on. United Nations Security Council, votes, no veto anymore, and so on. As I always say, each country has the right to make its own destiny. So does, obviously, Israel. And Netanyahu here shows that 10 million people, Israel I think it is, and United States 300 and about 30 some million people, no, I can't, stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.